Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're strapping in for a look at Google's renewed push into smart glasses, Android XR.
Yeah, it's pretty significant, isn't it? Comes, what, roughly a decade after the original Google Glass?
Exactly. And we know you, our listener, want to get a handle on this stuff quickly, thoroughly, but, without feeling totally buried. That's what we're aiming for here.
And the timing is interesting, too, with the recent Google I/O event. Sergey Brin himself showed up, kind of unexpectedly.
Right, and his reflections on the original glass, well, they give us some really valuable context for what they're trying now.
Absolutely. Sets the stage.
And he was pretty blunt about it. Our source here, a TechCrunch piece covering his talk, quotes him saying, quite directly, "I made a lot of mistakes with Google Glass." Okay, so let's dig into that. What mistakes did he actually call out?
Well, one of the big ones, according to the article, was apparently a real lack of understanding about consumer electronic supply chains.
The logistics. Sounds a bit dry, but that's actually huge, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
It sort of highlights how they were maybe too focused on the cool tech and maybe didn't grasp the how. How to actually build it, distribute it, get it to a price people could actually afford.
Right. It wasn't just some small detail. It fundamentally kind of hamstrung them from the start, limited the whole market potential.
Exactly. It really shows that even, the most amazing tech idea needs that practical grounding, manufacturing, cost, all that.
But, okay, despite admitting those big hurdles back then, it sounds like his core belief in smart glasses, well, that hasn't really wavered.
No, not according to this. The TechCrunch piece really emphasizes that he still has this conviction in the form factor itself. He sounded pretty positive about Google's new efforts,
Okay.
suggesting that the basic idea of having tech integrated right there on your face still holds a lot of potential in his view.
So if that belief is still there, what's fundamentally different this time? It feels like they must have learned some pretty major lessons.
That seems to be the key point. The article really highlights this emphasis now on great partners. That seems crucial.
Well, partners.
Right.
A shift from maybe going it alone the first time.
It seems like it, a much more collaborative approach.
And we're talking some pretty big names here, right? The article mentions Samsung and Xreal.
Yep, exactly, heavy hitters. Samsung, well, they bring that massive manufacturing scale, the market reach. That directly addresses that supply chain problem Brin talked about.
Makes sense. Tackles that headache head on. And Xreal.
Xreal's been deep in the AR glasses space for a while now, so they bring specific expertise, on the hardware design, the user experience for wearable displays, stuff they've been refining.
Gotcha. So leveraging outside strengths to fix past weaknesses. And it's not just the tech side, is it? There was something about Warby Parker, too.
Right. That's a really interesting piece. Google's putting significant money in the report says up to $150 million and taking an equity stake.
Wow. So that's about the glasses actually being glasses? Like
Yeah.
wearable, maybe even stylish?
Exactly. It shows they get that these aren't just gadgets. They're things people wear on their faces. Warby Parker knows eyewear, design, distribution, comfort. That could be huge for making these things actually appealing, beyond the early adopters.
Definitely sounds like a more complete strategy this time, covering more bases. Okay, now, the TechCrunch article also really stresses something else that's changed massively since Glass 1.0, generative AI. How does that play in?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Brin apparently specifically said that these AI advancements make the capabilities of smart glasses feel much more tangible now.
Okay, what does that mean in practice, like compared to the original Glass?
Well, think back. Original Glass was neat, but the apps felt a bit niche sometimes, limited.
Yeah.
Now, with really powerful AI models, the potential uses just explode.
And we saw some of that at I/O, right? The demos, live translation, directions.
Exactly. The article mentions those. Live translation, seamless navigation, asking the AI questions, all powered by DeepMind's Project Astra. That's a huge jump in what these things can actually do for you in the moment.
Yeah, that feels different. Having translation appear right there or directions that just blend in, that sounds genuinely useful, not just a tech demo.
It really is. It feels like AI provides the killer apps that were maybe missing before, makes the whole concept much more compelling.
Okay. Shifting slightly. The article also mentions Brin himself. He's properly back, isn't he? Not exactly enjoying retirement. Very focused on AI.
Not at all retired, it seems. Yeah, the piece highlights he's effectively back, working actively on Google's Gemini efforts. Apparently, he's in the Mountain View office almost daily.
Wow, okay. And involved in specific projects.
Uh-huh. Multimodal projects,
Hmm.
specifically. Things like Veo 3, Google's video generation model,
Hmm.
which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
AI that understands images, video, sound, text. That's exactly what you need for smart classes.
Right. It all connects. And didn't he have a pretty punchy quote about why he's back? Something about computer
Oh
scientists?
yeah, that was striking. Anybody who's a computer scientist should not be retired right now. They should be working on AI.
That says a lot. Real sense of urgency, belief in AI's impact.
Totally. Underscores how central AI is to Google's thinking now and his personal drive.
Which I guess leads into the competitive landscape too. The article kind of touches on that, the internal push at Google. Reports about Brin pushing the Gemini teams pretty hard.
Yeah, it mentions that briefly. Reports of him being aggressive in pushing the teams, in this AI race. And there was that reference to a memo about being in the office, maybe longer hours suggested for productivity.
Right, so not directly about the glasses maybe, but it's the context, isn't it? It shows this intense company-wide focus on AI.
Exactly. It's the backdrop. This huge AI ambition is what's fueling projects like the Android XR glasses. It
Yeah.
suggests they're really serious about leading in AI, and these glasses are one major way that AI can, meet the real world.
Okay, so let's try and pull this together. We've got Brin being really honest about the first glass mistakes.
Yep, especially the supply chain and pricing issues.
Then there's this big strategic shift, using key partners like Samsung, Xreal, Warby Parker to fix those problems, cover manufacturing, design, AR expertise.
Right, a much more collaborative, maybe realistic approach to the hardware and wearability.
And critically, the landscape has changed. Generative AI is here now, making the glasses potentially much more useful, more tangible, as Brin put it.
Powered by things like Project Astra, offering real utility like translation, better navigation, AI assistance on the go.
Plus, you have Brin himself, back from retirement, super focused on driving Google's whole AI effort, which underpins everything.
Exactly. So the takeaways are really lessons learned from failure, smarter partnerships this time, and the transformative power of modern AI making the whole idea viable, maybe even compelling now. And Brin's own energy behind it.
It's been a really fascinating deep dive looking at how all these pieces fit together for Google's next shot at smart glasses. And maybe that leaves us with a final thought for you listening in. Well, considering how much AI has advanced and thinking about the lessons Google seems to have learned, what kind of unexpected things might we see? What new applications or maybe even new challenges could pop up with this next generation of AI baked right into our eyewear?
That's a great question. Definitely something to chew on as we watch this space. Where does wearable AI go next?
Indeed, lots to think about.